Welcome, one and all, to Vellum and Vale. We are two friends who wanted to make something together, and this is the result. I'm Bernard, your lore master, and with me is Jen, the bear chief. We hope you enjoy our first experiment, a one-on-one D&D 5e game. And if you do, we ask you to please like, comment, and subscribe. With the introduction and a standard social media spiel out of the way, Jen, please take it from here.
Sure thing. How this is going to work is that Bernard is the game master and I am the player. But instead of my character being all alone, Bernard and I have put together a few party members to join her. This is inspired by RPG games like Dragon Age and Baldur's Gate, games we both have loved for a very long time. My character will try and lead her party to victory, and I'll control them in battle, but Bernard will give them dialogue, emotions, and descriptions of their actions.
Our first game is a playthrough of Dangerous Designs from Explorer's Guide to Wildemount. Please note that we have no association with, nor are we sponsored by, Wizards of the Coast or Critical Role. Everything that belongs to them still belongs to them, and we are operating under fair use. What belongs to us is the characters we make, our voices, etc. More information in the description.
Okay, enough preamble. Now onwards to the video.
Welcome back to Vellum and Vale's first one-on-one campaign with me, Lore Master Bernard, and Jen the Bear Chief. This is our run-through of Dangerous Designs from the Explorer's Guide to Wildemount, and we're going to be picking up right where we left off last time. So, last time, the party, looking for work in the town of Hupperdook, within the Dwendalian Empire of Wildemount, had some interactions with a local while discussing their current lack of a job. Said local took a liking to them and offered to lead them over to the local barracks in order to speak with the Watchmaster, as sometimes he has jobs for people with martial prowess that don't end up on the local job boards. Taking this man, Albie Shutterstone, up on his offer, the party, consisting of Honoria, Bastion, Melowin, and Hilda, proceeded through the streets of Lower Hupperdook. However, on the way, there was an explosion in the distance. Smoke and dust flying through the air, and out of a cloud of it that billowed down the street emerged a Goliath and 4 or 5 kobolds. The party decided to try and stop these possibly evil doers, as they would not stop to answer questions, and therefore the party considered them probably hostile. The kobolds did battle, saying, "No witnesses." But the Goliath seemingly was not as concerned about fighting anyone off and tried to simply escape, ultimately doing so with help of some kind of magic that created fog cloud. With the Goliath woman having escaped, the kobolds having been downed, only to find that they seemingly all burst with little explosions from their chest, which did cause a bit of duress to Mr. Shutterstone, as he had gotten close to one to try and take a look. Before said eruption, the party made sure that he was, decent, as the Watchmaster himself and a handful of guards came running towards it. Meeting up amidst the swirling clouds of fog, Honoria and the party explained what they had experienced, and the Watchmaster explained that the Goliath was Sken Zabris, seemingly a soldier for the Kryn dynasty in Jorhas, and a prisoner of war. She had escaped from Urhol prison and must be tracked down. She is very dangerous. The Watchmaster, noting that he'll need as many people on this as possible, decided to hire the party, offering them some pay in advance and even small tokens of his authority to help them with their investigation. The party accepted, and as they were discussing what to do next on the streets of Hupperdook, that is where we left off last time. We find ourselves back on the streets of Hupperdook, just a handful of minutes perhaps after the fight against Skenzabris and her kobold collaborators. Mr. Shutterstone is going to be treated for his injuries by the Crown's Guard. The Watchmaster is making sure that people don't come into the area just in case there's any further danger from the corpses of the kobolds. And Honoria and her party have a new assignment. So, what would you like to do?
How late is it?
It's well sundown. Uh, maybe like 8 o'clock.
We should probably start investigating this as soon as possible, right?
You see, Bastion is just trying to clean some blood off of his armor, um, and he says, "Well, yeah, probably best for us to try and get on the trail as quickly as possible. Although maybe we won't be able to find too many clues till tomorrow if we gotta go asking people. Uh, I don't know. I've never really investigated before." At this, Melowin, who is putting away her viol, says, "Well, that could also work to our benefit. Might throw them off guard. Although, if they're too inebriated, it certainly won't help us." And Hilda says, "Well, we could at least go check out the prison. We could see where she escaped from."
Do that and then go to bed? Because I think we're all pretty tapped.
Bastion is just like, "I wouldn't mind a bit of sleep after that. Whew, that is more adrenaline than I've had in several days."
Okay, so investigate the prison a bit, then go to sleep, then, really start tomorrow.
The others agree, and you walk off. The Crown's Guard have the area secured to keep curious passersby out just in case of danger. You are allowed to leave and head towards Gearhole Prison. Gearhole Prison. It's easy to see, even in the dark, the outer walls of Gearhole Prison, due to the metallic sheen of many tall steel plates affixed to the mountainside. Moonlight and still smoldering fires frame billowing smoke which pours from a gaping cavity in the rock and metal, marking a violent escape route for Skenzabris and her accomplices. You see several members of the Crown's Guard are on site, keeping people away, and they will keep you away too if you approach.
Even if we flash our lovely little badges?
When you do that, they say, "Oh, you're okay. Sure. Please enter into the area, but be careful."
Got it.
As you get closer, you see the hole is about 10 feet wide, edged with twisted metal and jagged rock, and it opens up above a pile of rubble. But beyond the hole is what appears to be a badly damaged stone prison cell, little more than a soot-stained walls and an overturned bed charred on one side. There was a thin skylight above the hole, which matches others alongside it in the exterior wall, um, and was probably the cell's only window. Um, there is a what looks like a mangled chamber pot embedded in the right wall, and you see that someone is actually in here before you are. An elf, medium dark skin, dark brown hair, straight that's been in like goes over to one side but is shorn on the other. Um, wearing this long leather coat and like leather armor underneath it, is actually trying to pull it out from the rock. You see, she's like, okay, okay, come on, chunk,
What
and
are you
it comes
doing?
free. Oh, just a moment. And she takes a look inside it, ah, and she pulls, and with her free hand, she pulls what looks like charred pieces of paper from the pot. Before actually turning to acknowledge your presence. Sorry, Ginra Emberwind. I don't believe I've met you.
Right. I'm Honoria.
You can call me Melowin. Hi, I'm Bastion. I'm Hilda Voss. Ginra takes note of you all, and she has a slightly sly smile on her face. Charmed. Well, what are you doing in here exactly?
We were hired to investigate.
Oh, you were you?
Yes.
Just now.
Yes, we were.
Don't suppose I can see a badge of authority from the Watchmaster.
We clearly got in, so we have what is needed.
Doesn't mean that you actually have the authority, so you got some.
I'll hold up my badge real quick.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Well, and she pulls out a similar badge.
Oh, yay.
I guess he didn't think I'd be on the job tonight. Well, doesn't matter. My work here is done. And good luck in finding Sken Zabras before I do. I don't know about you, but this is kind of my. So, if you'll excuse me, you watch her go, and Hilda says, she does not seem very nice.
No. No, she doesn't.
Bastion crosses his arms and watches the way she went. Huh, well, we got competition, but she's on her own. We've got a team. So I think the odds are on our side.
Yeah, I think so too. All right. Let's get to investigating.
What do you want to look at?
Let's have everybody look at something. So I'll look at the rubble. Mellowin, do the bed. Bastion do, I guess, the chamber pot, and Hilda do the room. Everybody do a little something.
Got it.
Cool.
Okay. So this will be all investigation.
All right. We will do Hilda first. 12.
Okay. Looking over the room, Hilda, kind of just, inspects it in general. It does not seem to me like there was any kind of structural issues that they really took advantage of. And it would be hard to get a look inside of here. I wonder how they planned this. If they maybe whoever helped her escape has some knowledge of the prison?
That's not a bad idea.
Alright, who would you like next?
Let's do Bastion next. Oh, wow. 17.
Sebastian picks up the chamber pot and looks at it. Damn, I think this thing got torn up in the explosion. That must have been what sent it flying. There's a hole punched right through it. Huh. Wait a minute. Does that make sense? Maybe something was flung through the pot while it was going?
Sure, I have no idea. That was what that Yindra was looking at, right?
Yes. She pulled what looked like some charred paper out of the chamber pot. All right, I assume you want Mellowin to go next?
Indeed. All right. Wow, Mellowin has an 18.
Very nice. Okay, so Mellowin checks out the bed. Um, you see that she kind of like moves it a bit, checks both sides. She inspects the burned side, and she like reaches into it a little and pulls out what appears to be a shard of bronze. Well, I think I found the missing piece of your chamber pot, Bastion. She brings it over, and it's not perfect, but it does seem to match the amount that is missing from the damaged pot. From what I can tell, it's the bed is only burned on the side facing the outer wall, as if, and it looks like it wasn't the way that it's sort of completely covered. My guess is that was already up that way, as if she used it as a shield against the blast. She takes the shard and she like smells it. Sulfur and burnt blasting powder. No, wait. And she takes a look at it further. No, this isn't from the chamber pot. It's a slightly similar material, but she compares it again. No. This burst through it, but it's not part of the pot itself. This was something else. How fascinating.
It's not part of the chamber pot. It's just a similar material.
Yes.
I'm gonna be looking out for some of that similar material.
The chamber pot was made of brass, but the chunk of metal is actually bronze. So, somewhat similar look, but actually different. And you were checking the rubble.
Yes. For a natural 20 for a 25.
Hot dog. All right, so you begin checking the rubble. You can confirm a couple of things. One, this is definitely the wall, it's not some other material. Two, you can see that it appears that the explosion came from inside the room, as the majority of the material was burst outwards. More so than that, you take a look at sort of like how the rubble is laid out. It looks like it wasn't one explosion, but multiple explosions at various points on the inside of the wall. You compare the remaining bit that is connected to the rest of the structure, and it looks like there are multiple points at which it fractured and exploded outward. And additionally, you see, poking out from the rock, a piece of metal that doesn't look like it is structural. It looks circular.
I found something. A couple somethings, actually. So it came from inside, and there were several little explosions. And then there's that. And I'll go try to see if I can get that piece of metal.
Sure, the rock is fairly loose because of how damaged it is. So you are able to reach down and pull out a strange construction about the size of the average dinner plate. It is flat, but it is not a singular item. It is a little construct, it seems, resembling a crab made mostly from iron. but it's damaged enough that you're pretty sure it isn't going to work. It's pretty thin, but it looks like it can scuttle about a little bit, but it's like been crushed in the middle by apparently part of the flying debris.
What the hell is this thing?
You also see that there is a wind-up key.
I will not be doing that at the moment. Has anybody seen anything like this before?
The rest of the party come over to check it. Bastion's like, hell is this thing? Hilda kind of like examines it a little. I think this is a crab? Well, it certainly has the shape of a crab, but it appears to be some tiny mechanism. Um, hmm. Looks like there is. What is. It's got pincers. And it looks like its little legs might be good for climbing difficult surfaces, maybe? I wonder if anyone in town can tell us more about it.
Well, I hope so. Is there anything left that we haven't looked at yet?
Nothing that you haven't already checked. But I will note, because of your high investigation, you kind of realize, looking back at the room, that the skylight is just wide enough that this little crab thing could have been slipped into it like a coin going into a piggy bank.
Oh, I think I know how it got in. And I point up.
Oh, good call. Huh. But who sent it scurrying up in there?
Whoever helped her get out, I'd imagine.
Alright, so what's our next step?
Bed.
Fair enough. I think it was noted anybody we want to talk to is probably going to be, asleep or, well, drunk. Well, let's all get a night's rest, cover, freeze, and such, and we'll be ready to go in the morning.
Sounds like a plan.
You all return to the Soot Swallow Lodge. You take the evening to rest.
I enter motion activated sleep because I don't need to sleep. I'm the motion sensor.
Oh, right. Honoria does not necessarily sleep, but still finds rest. No dreams, but at least a sense of restoration. The night passes. She does whatever she desires, whilst otherwise unbothered. The others sleep until eventually the morning comes. Morning in the Soot Swallow Lodge is somewhat similar to the other several days that the party has met up here in the morning. Honoria, you have your own domicile set up by the government of Hupperdook, but the others are currently staying here. The smell of good cooked food, as always, wafts through the air. There is pleasant morning music playing. Some people are looking for hangover cures, others are just shoveling down a lot of bread, a lot of pancakes, waffles, that sort of stuff. Some are doing a mixture of both. Some are just passing through, grabbing a morning meal before they head to their various industries within Lower Hupperdook. But you all can have a, breakfast to yourselves as you discuss what to do next.
So, where exactly are we going today? Back to the prison?
Bastion pipes up over a bowl of oatmeal. Well, we could certainly ask the guards there if they know anything. Oh, excuse me. Maybe I shouldn't have been talking with my mouth.
Yeah, finish
Oh,
your
I'm sorry.
mouthful of food, Bastion. My gosh.
Yep, sorry. And he starts drinking some water. Hilda says, well, we do have that little crabs thing. We can ask around, see if anybody recognizes it. We could also ask if anyone saw where the Goliath and perhaps one of the kobolds ran off to. I believe there was only one remaining, but still, I don't believe Goliaths or kobolds are very common in Hupperdook. Melwin, who is checking the strings of her reel, says, yes, sounds quite like a good idea. We could also ask perhaps about maybe if anyone is, well, I'm sure someone in town is familiar with explosives, given the number of times we hear them go off in the distance. We could ask maybe if anyone has purchased some recently, or if there's some missing. I'm not sure, really. This honestly isn't my area of expertise either. And maybe we can ask about if there was anything else odd happening around. Sometimes a random anecdote can lead to useful information.
Oh, okay. We should probably start with this crab thing.
Yes, poor thing. I mean, it's not like it's. I mean, I assume it's not intelligent, but it does, kind of pull at the heartstrings to see something broken. But perhaps there is opportunity for reinvention or restitution. Recycling? Hmm. She like starts writing in her little book again.
Yeah.
Hilda actually takes a little look at it. I hope I do. I wonder, what does it do exactly? You can't exactly tell from just looking at it. Uh, I'm not familiar with this sort of thing. There aren't so many back back home, honestly.
Well, maybe whoever we find to tell us about it can tell us what it does?
Yeah, maybe they can open it up if they don't know can. Um, I don't see like any little, normally I think that you could kind of tell what it is for, but it's just a crab.
Okay. So once you all are done,
Oh, yes, of course. And Melwin finishes up her food, which she's kind of been picking at as she's also been, working on her veal and then writing notes in her book. Hilda actually already was done. And then Bastion tries to make sure he doesn't choke while he finishes off his oatmeal.
probably a good idea. So I think Honoria goes through the motions of like eating, but she doesn't eat a lot.
Listeners at home, there is a reason for this, but we're not getting into it right
Yep.
now.
Just establishing that right now that she'll go through the motions, but she won't eat or drink much or sleep.
Yeah, there's reasons. Maybe you keep listening and you find out.
There's always reasons.
All right. So, once you are done, you head out in lower. As you are leaving, though, you do. What is Honoria's passive perception?
Passive perception's not great. That hers is 11, but Hilda's is 15. Bastion's is also an 11, and Mellowin's is 12.
So as you're leaving, like Hilda's head turns in one direction, and then she turns back, continuing to walk with you. I overheard a conversation. People are talking about the prison break.
Oh?
Yes, well, obviously it's probably going to be the topic of conversation for most people to.
Say anything interesting?
They were saying that it's just the latest problem. and they were wondering if maybe it's one of them was saying that they were wondering if it's related to what's been happening recently.
What's been happening recently? What are we not in the loop
I
for?
I don't know. Should we ask them?
Yeah, sure.
Hilda points out the table. It is a pair of one male, one androgynous, um, who are seemingly quickly eating some breakfast sandwiches, eggs, ham. One has a bit of that like hangover cure, and the other is just drinking water. But they both like stop mid bite as you and the party walk up to the table.
Good morning.
Hi, what can we do for you?
I was wondering what's been happening around here lately. I keep hearing talk that there's been stuff going around with like that breakout last night. You know,
Make a persuasion check.
I should have let Mellowin do this. Because I have a negative charisma. Oh, even with that negative, you said persuasion 15.
They look at each other, and the one who is drinking the water says to you, "Well, there's been some odd goings on in town lately. A number of people talking about a growing bit of theft going on. All manner of things: tools, materials, full ingots, and a bunch of supplies. Just little bits of it going missing uh, over the past several days."
All around in a
Yeah.
specific area?
Oh, it's all over the place. All different. Nobody's quite sure if it's just, you know, a little bit of something. Maybe people just misplacing things at first, but then, what? I don't know. The rumors are that this is all over the place. It's it's all sorts of stuff. Uh, I myself am missing a hammer, although I don't know if I just misplaced it because I honestly can't remember the last time I saw it. But, well, I don't know. It's mighty odd all these things going missing, especially full ingots and other types of metal work, little bits and bobs, full little manufactured things. Not great big chunks of it at a time, but still. Everybody I talked to lately says they're missing something or other.
Okay.
The one who has the hangover cure is like, ugh, you're always misplacing stuff. That's not true. Well, it happens often enough. Don't you listen to him. Now, I'm not saying that it's anyone specifically, but I think there might be some thieves about, and they're trying to put enough together that they're planning to sell it right back to us for a profit, but all marked up in a box so that we don't even realize. They'll make out like thieves in the night. Wait, I said thieves already. I
You
might
did.
need more water. Anyway, is there anything else we can for you folks?
No, we are all good here. Thank you very much.
Right. And the one gnome gets back to his cure all, just like takes a sip, takes some more. As you walk away, Melvin's like, I've never really quite understood the point of imbibing that much to the point of needing kind of concoction morning after. But perhaps the man grapples with some fiends within himself he intends to drown them.
Or he just wanted to party.
Well, I suppose it's not very poetic, though.
No, but not everything can be.
Ah, sadly not. All right,
Right.
so so anything like you could see if other patrons have information if you like. Otherwise, you can certainly head to Gearhole Prison.
Yeah, you know what? We might as well while we're here see if anybody else is talking about it, and if anything like we overhear piques our interest.
Sure. Would you like to do this as a group, or have them spread out again?
Let's spread out. Let's go to like all corners of the room.
Okay, then roll persuasion checks for each member of the crew.
We'll do Mellowin first. 22.
What would you want Mellowin to ask?
If anybody had, you know, seen anything last night in relation to the breakout, or maybe also like the rumors about stuff going missing.
So we'll kind of like be this as you all meet back up
Yeah.
after seeing they haven't gone as much as you can.
Yeah.
So Mellowin reports, well, I asked around, and apparently some people saw a Goliath running toward the north end of the city, but nobody knows exactly where they ended.
Okay, well that narrows it down a little, I guess.
Direction is a start, at least.
True.
Who's up next?
We'll do Bastion. He got a 19.
And what's he asking about?
I'll have him be specifically asking about like the stuff going missing.
All right. Bastion reports in. Well, people were happy to put out some ideas. I think some a little more far-fetched than others. Some people think that it's just some people trying to get materials for pet projects and they don't have the means to pay. Some think that it is some kind of crime syndicate business, that maybe there's some new organized crime poking its head into Hupperdook. And others think that it's some kind of
It's some kind of what?
gremlins.
Gremlins. Okay.
Yes, I actually had to ask about it. Apparently, gremlin is some mischievous creature that has a habit of messing with machinery.
Okay, sure. Ugh.
Yeah. So I don't know exactly how much we should put into any of those ideas, but what I got is that it's not just raw materials; it's also manufacturing tools, hammers, chisels, screwdrivers, all that sort of stuff.
That's so weird. Okay.
Yeah, maybe someone's making something.
Yeah, maybe. All right, Hilda.
Elda does her best.
She'll do her best. I'm sure it'll be better than me. 16.
And what would Hilda be asking? Actually, why don't you have Hilda roll a wisdom check for me?
Ooh, okay. 17.
17. Okay. Along with asking if anybody anything unusual last, Hilda says, well, I don't think that I picked up anything that Mellowin did not hear. I did remember something. Do you recall the feet of the kobold? They were all stained with this red clay. I thought that I would ask about. I don't know. It just stuck in my mind, and none of the people I talked to knew where it might have come from. But there's a local herbalist shop called Lay of the Land. Apparently, the proprietor knows local soil, clay, stuff like that very well. Perhaps we could ask her about it.
That is so smart, Hilda.
Oh, thanks you. I wasn't sure if it would actually,
I actually
but
forgot
I
about
just.
the feet.
Oh, well, I'm glad I remembered.
All right, so we could go there. Cool. Okay, awesome.
And Noria, did you want to ask me?
I mean, I'll try. That's a whole 0.
Oh no! Before you can even ask someone, you see that a one of the like people like looks at you, and you suddenly hear a clink 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 from inside yourself,
Uh, uh, uh.
and the person just stares at you. You felt something like slip for a second.
Oh, that didn't feel nice.
The gnome is just wide-eyed, and she just like stares at you for a second.
You know, I'll just go. I was gonna. I'll have a good day. Just kind of mumbling to herself, like, the hell was that?
Melwin is the first to come over and therefore the first to notice. So this is a little out of order, but she asks, is something wrong?
No, 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 no. Nothing's wrong. Everything's fine.
Make a deception check and then roll Melwin's insight check.
Okay. So, Mellowin for insight has a 12. And I, for deception, have a 3.
Melwin just sits down. Are you sitting down or would you be standing?
I imagine she's standing. It's sort of trying to hide, sort of thing, but not like actively trying to hide, just like, I'm gonna go behind this little pillar.
Melwin just like kind of like cocks her head with a look of like, you can see the look on her face is like imploring you to open up.
Oh, don't look at me like that.
I haven't known you very long, but I can tell that you're not the best at lying. Seriously, what's wrong?
It's just something weird just happened with me. It's okay, really.
What exactly occurred?
It's hard to explain.
Do you need any medical attention?
I don't think so. I don't know how that would help. Look, I'm gonna tell you, but I don't know if I'll tell anybody else right now. I'm not from here, but I kind of woke up here, and ever since then, things have been really weird.
Melvin raised an eyebrow. You woke up here, so you don't know how you got here.
No, I do not. I'm from Port Soon.
In the Menagerie Coast, I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, and I somehow got here, and I don't know how or what happened, but I woke up, and now things are very different with me.
That's strange. I mean, you don't have any idea what happened to you?
No, but I know now I don't really need sleep or
You
eat
don't. What?
or drink.
Melwin looks more concerned. Noria, are you saying that you are. And she looks around and then looks back at you and whispers, Are, are you some manner of, undead?
I don't know, but now that you say that, maybe Bastion could tell me. But
Well,
anyway, the thing that happened, I felt like something slipped inside of me, and I don't know what that.
slipped.
Yeah, I don't know what that. That's the best way I can explain it.
All right. Well, I certainly, I don't need to ask you anything further than that you don't want to talk about. Obviously, this is a somewhat traumatic thing for you. I'm well. Thank you very much for trusting me. I know we haven't known each other that long, but I'm glad that you felt comfortable enough to share. I'm sure the others would understand. I don't think Bastion's going to try and smite you or something. It's not like you're a shambling ghoul.
That's true. I don't know what is up.
Well, I guess we'll figure that out when we come to it.
Yeah. Like I can eat and I can drink and I can sleep. I just found that I don't need to anymore.
Oh, that sounds interesting, but also a bit disconcerting. Are you feeling rested at least?
Oh yeah. Yeah, as long as I just kind of sit there and do nothing.
Well, alright then. I'm glad that it hasn't, whatever happened to you, I'm glad that your ability to rest has not been rendered impossible. I've seen those who have pushed themselves too far and have gone without. It does things to them, and while it's certainly an interesting thing to ask them about, it does tend to make for rather unpleasant moments. So I am glad that you and you can bring this up obviously with the others whenever. Just let us know if something is wrong.
Well, if that noise happens, like that poor gnome heard, I think the rest will find out sooner rather than later.
Oh, your your body makes noise?
There was definitely a noise, and then I felt the slip, and someone
It,
heard it, and that's why I'm over here hiding.
oh dear. Well, it'll just be something maybe once in a while we might have to how to put it? Might have to pass it off as someone dropped a lantern nearby or something.
Yeah, yeah. But all right, that's not the most. It's not important right now, and I think Bastion's coming over, so
Right. Act casual.
I can't do that.
What's your favorite cheese?
Gouda.
Oh, I love Gouda. Oh, hello, Bastion. Now we leave the, you know, vagaries of time here. Are you done at the tavern?
After that whole thing, yeah, I would like to leave and go
you know,
elsewhere.
that's fair. Then this will be the pause. This episode of Dangerous Design. We're going to try and keep the episodes a little shorter going forward. And in the next one, the investigation will continue. And bye bye.
Bye.